And we're back. You are listening to the Talking Boxing with Billy C, a radio show. You're watching us on the Fight Now television channel. And if you don't have Fight Now on your sports channel lineup, what the hell are you waiting for? Call your local television provider, whether it's a satellite or cable provider. You tell them that you want the Fight Now channel added to your sports channel lineup. It's that simple. And for all the information about the channel, you can find it on their website, www.fightnow.com. And speaking of now, joining us is world-ranked super-middleweight contender Edwin La Bomba Rodriguez. Good morning, Edwin.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming back on the show. And I tell you, I've been watching your career, and, it seems to me that ever since you fought and beat James McGirt for the USMBC super-middleweight title back in 2010, you've really stepped up your level of opposition. Tell us about what made you feel and what made your team feel that you were ready to get to the next step.
Ever since I turned pro, we were working with strength and conditioning and just, working hard to try to get to the next level. And, after I beat James McGirt, it was just an eye-opener that I was ready to, fight contenders and get ready to fight for a title.
Now, in your last fight, you had, I thought, really your toughest opponent to date in Don George, and I couldn't wait for that fight because both of you guys are known for punching power and everything else. But you seem to step it up a notch in that fight. Now that the fight's over and everything else, why don't you tell us what your assessment of your performance in the Don George fight was?
Ronnie Shields had a really good game plan. We worked on it for about 8 or 10 weeks. I was just trying to prove to everybody that I'm not just a brawler, that I could also box. And I showed a different side of me in that fight.
Well, I tell you, it opens up a lot of doors and a lot of things for your opponents to think about. And we all know Ronnie Shields is no youngster in the sport. I mean, he knows his stuff, and I guess that had to be some of his thought process to just have your opponents from here on in start thinking a lot in the ring, maybe too much, right?
Yeah, and that's how we want them. A lot of people were expecting me to come out and brawl with Donovan George, and Donovan George is a big puncher. He's a very good fighter. I saw his power in the ring, and he just couldn't hit me. He couldn't catch me. So why get hit if you could be able to fight him like that? I'm not gonna fight like that all the time, but in that fight, that was the perfect style to fight a guy like Donovan George with power with both hands. And, I got to thank Ronnie for preparing me for that fight the way he did and me getting the job done.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I've been in the business a long time, and you're at that magic number, that 21 wins, and even to add to that, you've never tasted defeat. What's next for you guys? I know there's been some, talk, and you've been quoted in the press saying that you're willing to fight anybody. Is there anybody on the horizon for you? Is there anybody specific that you're looking for? Can you fill us in on any of that?
Honestly, my promoter, Lou DeBella, has been doing a great job moving me up, and my manager as well. I'm ready for anybody. I'm ready to fight for a world title. I'm ready to fight a contender. I'm ready to fight anybody that's going to get me to that next level. And I'm doing my job, staying in the gym. I'm right now in training camp with Andy Lee, helping him get ready for Chavez Jr., staying in shape, and just working hard. So I'm doing my part now. I just got to leave it in my promoter's hand, Lou DeBella, and he's been doing a great job about it. So, just got to be patient, wait it out, and wait for my opportunity. I know it's going to come soon.
Well, I know that you've battled some stuff outside of the ring with your beautiful kids and everything else. Is there anything that you can kind of relate going through that struggle with what Paul Williams now all of a sudden is going through. It was reported that he was involved in a motorcycle accident the other night and the other morning, I should say, and now he's faced with a challenge. If you were able to talk to him right now, what kind of advice could you give him?
Stay strong. I was just reading that yesterday, and I almost cried because Paul Williams a warrior inside of that ring, and it was devastating to hear what happened to Paul. And I wish him the best. I wish him speedy recovery and stay strong and mentally strong. I know it's going to be a tough time, but if anybody could come back from it, that'll be Paul Williams. He's a tough guy, and I wish him the best.
Yeah, he's. It seems to have affected all of us. Everybody in the sport. I mean, it's one thing to fight somebody, but it's another thing to fight a different kind of a battle, and you certainly know that. And that's been a struggle for you. How do you keep your focus on your boxing career when you have so many other priorities in your life that you have to focus on?
My kids were born premature, 23 weeks and 5 days, and they were in the hospital for 120 days, fighting for their life every single day, and it's not easy. It wasn't easy for me. But life goes on, and you gotta just keep fighting and stay positive. Not only for myself, but I had to stay positive for my wife and just keep fighting. And it was just so tough because there was nothing I could have done. There was nothing, it was basically in the doctor's hands and the God's hands. And it's the worst feeling in the world when your kids are fighting for their lives and you can't do anything about it. So it was a tough time for me and my family. But, our kids now are 5 years old. They're in preschool. They're doing well. My son does have cerebral palsy, but he's a very happy kid. He's walking, he's running around, and he started to talk a little bit. So things could have been a lot worse, but they're doing really well. So I'm happy. My wife is happy. The kids are happy, and that's all that matters. So.
Well, I'll tell you, that's all that matters, and that's really good news to hear. And the last thing I wanted to ask you about that is, do you feel that you can draw strength from them, from your family, not just the kids, but also your wife and everything else while you're fighting? And does that help you feel, I want to use the word, maybe it's not the right word, but I'm going to use it, a sense of invincibility where, you're fighting for more than yourself in that ring, and your opponent has to battle you plus all of that feelings inside. Is that something that you apply, or am I off base on that?
Definitely. When I'm training, when I'm fighting, bringing back one of the fights, I was fighting against Kevin Angle, and I got hit with a good left hook, and he shook me. I was hurt a bit, and all I was thinking about was, my son, he has cerebral palsy. I have to just keep fighting to, give him a better life. And that was my motivation in that fight. And, I have to shake it off and keep fighting, act like I wasn't hurt when I really was. And, get back on the fight and be able to knock him out in the 6th round. So definitely, and just being with Stephanie Rodriguez, which is my wife, she's just in top of things. She's great with the kids. She's such a amazing person and such a advocate for my kids, especially my son who has special needs. From being able to get him a 1-to-1, and right now I'm going to Houston, Texas to train with Running Shields to try to better myself, to put ourselves in a good position to get to the next level. And just having her and a lot of times she has to stay home with the kids for 8 weeks while I'm gone. And, having special needs kids is not easy. And also working, she's a guidance counselor as well. So, having a strong woman by my side is definitely a strength that I have, and I'm able to, be able to do what I got to do without having to worry about if the kids are going to be fine, because she's a great mother and a great advocate. I'm glad. I'm happy to have her.
Well, the way your career is moving along, it's like the model of what I tell all the young fighters I work with. And, it's like you got to progressively increase the level of your opposition so that when that opportunity comes, for a world title or what have you, that you're a legitimate fighter. And I feel that you and your team have been doing that perfectly. Do you feel that when that time comes, you're going to have the ability to not only win that title but hold on to it for a while and make the money to help you and your family become financially secure?
Definitely, yeah. I do also feel like our team has done, keep moving me up fight by fight. I'm always fighting somebody better, and a lot of our prospects, they come up, they don't fight anybody, and then all of a sudden they just throw them in there with a big step up. I feel like we didn't do that. We did it gradually, always fighting somebody better. We defeated prospects, undefeated prospect, national champs, amateur national champs, Contender and James McGurk, Aaron Pryor, who's a very awkward and long fighter, and Donovan George, who was a contender with tremendous power, who was able to knock out a very good fighter, who's a good friend of mine as well, who was 17-0 or 16-0 at the time, who's doing really well for himself, top 10 now at 175, Cornelius White. And, just from knowing that, I knew that I had to go in there and be smart when I was fighting Donovan George, because he had that type of power. So we fought, the right opposition and always fighting better opponents to be ready for that next step up,
Well, it clearly makes fighters better, and it certainly has made you better. And I want to thank you for taking the time with us this morning, Edwin. And, I'm in your corner big time, in and outside of the ring. I've been following your career, and I love what I see. There's only one thing that makes me nervous. You're from Massachusetts and stuff, and I'm a Jets fan, man. And please, are you a Patriots fan? Are you going to tell me right now that you're a New England Patriots fan?
I gotta be. I'm from New England. We got great teams. Boston, the Red Sox. Well, we're doing bad now. Celtics. So, we're still in. You guys are out.
Well, I tell you what, brother. I don't have anything against the Red Sox. I'm a Mets fan, so I don't have anything against the Red Sox. So I probably hate the Yankees even more than you do. But when it comes when it comes to football, man, the Patriots is just it's just that team that's always kills us every year.
The Mets are actually like the Mets as well. So they always have a lot of Dominican players in their teams. So I like the Mets, so I think we're cool.
All right. All right, man. We'll just be on opposite sides when the Patriots and the Jets play each other. But, man, I wish you all the luck in the world. Please keep us posted as you move on. And as soon as you get something announced, let us know. We'd love to have you back on.
I would love to be back on. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, brother. Take care.
Hi, take care.
That's my man, Edwin La Bomba Rodriguez. And he's a Patriots fan, man. But I knew it. I knew he was. I mean, he's out of Massachusetts. What a great story. And I tell you what, they're doing the right thing with La Bomba. They're moving him along, increasing his level of opposition. That's the way to do it. When this kid gets his shot, he's not only going to win at, he's going to continue to be a champion, and that's what makes or breaks a fighter. You don't want to just get him in a position to fight that fight. You want to get him in a position to fight the fight and win the fight and fight another day. Hey, listen, man, I got to take a break. We'll be right back.